Greetings, fellow men of culture. As always, I come to you live from the peak of Thundercock Mountain. Like when my wife bites my nutsack instead of licking the peanut butter off, Sony just keeps making the same mistake over and over. Sony decided to do another Concorde for some reason. They didn't learn from the first time the entire internet took a massive dump all over their chest and face and decided to reveal another monstrosity to the world. Horizon Hunter's Gathering is Guerrilla Games' newest project, a co-op kind of Monster Hunter thing by the looks of it, set in the Horizon Zero Dawn universe. And just like with most Western development studios these days, they just can't help themselves. The art style and character designs they chose to go with look straight from 2020, or Fortnite, appealing to absolutely nobody.
Upstarts. Whose stories
This guy looks like he fell out of the battle bus onto a huge dick.
we have to fight back. And to do that,
Who wants to play as this guy? He looks like a 45-year-old dad with a beer gut. I already have that shit in real life.
and mercenaries.
They seriously squirted this out onto the internet. I thought we were past the massively obese women with pink hair and character design, but nobody told Guerrilla Games that apparently. And she has a prosthetic foot because of the diabetes. At least there are a few conventionally attractive characters in the game, so it's not all bad. The only thing this one is missing is the septum piercing. I'm not the only one this isn't appealing to either. The Horizon subreddit isn't feeling it, and that's a place specifically for fans of the series. Why does this keep happening? Guerrilla Games went from the Killzone series to this. One of the coolest first-person shooter series on the PlayStation, with iconic villains and a memorable name, the Hellghast. The gas masks with the glowing red eyes became synonymous with the PlayStation brand. Guerrilla Games knows how to make cool characters. There's already very infamous precedent for games like this failing in the past. Concorde is maybe the biggest commercial failure in the history of the gaming industry. Highguard is struggling even though its characters aren't as awful as Concorde's, but they're bland.
Welcome to Highguard.
Into lands uncharted and dangers untold.
They should have seen this coming, but for some reason they're sticking to their guns despite the internet's reaction. It's like they've forgotten there's a customer involved in this whole thing. They see that this approach doesn't work time and time again, but they really dig in anyway, like a beaver building a darn. Western developers are just unable or unwilling to make cool characters these days. But the industry isn't devoid of the stuff that's been proven for the last 25 years to be appealing to gamers. All you have to do is take a look to the east. With the exception of some publishers like Square Enix who thought the modern audience in the West was an untapped gold mine, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese developers never stopped making good stuff. At the time of writing, Neo 3 has been out for a few days and it's looking to be Team Ninja's most successful title to date. It's generating a ton of buzz and good PR. People like it. It's the third game in a series that is generally well regarded among its intended audience. Big beefy boys, horse cocks swinging between their juicy thighs, cool samurai and swords and fire. The only thing missing is a guitar solo. Intended audience is my point. Team Ninja makes video games for the customers they serve, which is gamers. Sony, Microsoft, EA, and others have been continually lying to themselves for a decade now about who their real audience is, something Eastern developers have seemingly never forgotten. They're so eager to bruise their knees sucking that blue sky wiener. Pink and blue-haired journalists who live in Los Angeles in a studio apartment with 9 sweater-wearing cats aren't buying shit. They'll tell Twitter all day what they want and how companies should make games and movies, but the sales and user reviews of these products don't reflect that they actually want it. They'll spend all day and night absorbing and discarding the testosterone in any room they enter, and cry when people get mad at them. It's not just Neo 3 that's made a huge splash. There's been a string of hugely popular games in the last few years with long staying power, and not very many of them are coming from the biggest studios in the world. Where the Winds Meet is a game I approached with a large amount of trepidation when it first started taking off. Publisher NetEase doesn't have a great reputation with their free-to-play titles, but they seem to be coming around with their last few games. I'm also pretty wary of gacha systems, especially in Chinese free-to-play titles, since you never know how bad it is until you play, or how bad it'll be in the future. You create your character, pick a class, and then run around Song Dynasty China fighting bad guys with cool weapons and awesome-looking combat. That's really all you need, and the game blew up. This is what people want, no matter what 10 people on Blue Sky or Reddit say. The core audience of people that play video games don't respond well to this. NetEase also ate a huge chunk of Blizzard ass with Marvel Rivals, one of the few games to reinvigorate the hero shooter genre. Marvel Rivals exploded in popularity right out of the gate, and it wasn't luck. The game features tons of well-known Marvel characters, which definitely helped a lot. but it didn't portray them the same way other games sometimes do. Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 made Peter Parker out to be a whiny little cuck. Rivals portrays him exactly how everybody likes. He's confident, capable, and makes stupid little quips. The idealized, statuesque character designs of old American comic books is on display full force here, and people love it. Overwatch had to learn this lesson the hard way, and it seems they've finally taken some steps in the right direction for its newest update. Overwatch has been ailing for the last few years. It went from having its every update and addition at the forefront of the gaming zeitgeist to pissing everyone off with its unnecessary sequel and cancelling its PvE mode. Blizzard wasted time and effort on which characters were gay, non-binary, or autistic, or which ones were fucking each other, instead of just making appealing characters that people want to play, and most importantly for Blizzard, spend money on. Their latest update for the game dropped the 2 in the title, which shouldn't have been there in the first place, and they're going back to Season 1, kind of a soft reboot of the game to smooth things out. The 5 new characters they showed off are awesome. There's a cool gun guy, a techno monk, a flying cat that the internet will love, a waifu, and a Damimani. And guess what? Overwatch shot right up the charts, surpassing Battlefield 6 and Call of Duty. All it took was Blizzard actually looking at reality and focusing on character designs people want to play. Can't all be good though, because just like always, Blizzard has capitulated to a tiny minority of people who don't even play their game. One of the new characters, Onron, looks good, but that's a problem because of course it is. The English voice actress for this character made a video about how she doesn't like how she looks. Blizzard caved and is redesigning the character.
大家朋友们好，我是 Fariha， 我是安然的英语配音演员。
Huh?
I got to mourn Anran between the design I had hoped for her and the design we ended up with.
She's mourning a fictional character because she, the voice actress, not an artist or 3D modeler or animator, doesn't like how the final face looks.
There was a unspoken promise that said, we're going to challenge the beauty standards plaguing and ransacking media these days, right?
The beauty standards that are ransacking video games in particular are uglified characters that nobody likes. Blizzard needs to stop pretending like they don't know what goes into making a popular character.
The Ozempic chic, the contour your nose, you have no nose, the tiniest nose.
This isn't body positivity activism. It's a video game.
No, this is Patrick.
And I think because of that precedence, people feel understandably let down.
People are let down because one character isn't ugly enough. Making Onron ugly isn't going to change anything. People who have no intention of ever playing this game aren't going to pick it up because they made a character ugly. In fact, you're more likely to have a few less players by going this route.
And I want you to know that I shared all of this with the dev team.
And this worked. Overwatch director Aaron Keller did his performative male thing and promised a character redesign at some point. These people pretend like they're changing the world by doing this, but it's a fictional character in a game that needs to make money. The fact that a voice actress can influence the dev team directly should worry real players. Shit can just change at any moment when people who aren't even involved in game design at all get mad. A game that doesn't have this problem is Tides of Annihilation. It looks to be a crazy character action game with some insane visuals. The main character, Gwendolyn, is not the baddest honking bitch. She doesn't have the attitude or proportions of Bayonetta or the thirst trapness of Eve, but she looks cool. The flowing of her clothing as she moves around gives her animations this dynamic look. The bits of armor on her shoulders and arms make it look like she's ready to fight, without making her a big-ass tank person with no femininity at all. The hype surrounding games like Tides of Annihilation and Crimson Desert is something Western studios have been striving and failing to achieve for a while now. The common trait among these games is they appeal specifically to people who will buy them, instead of trying to appeal to people who just want social media points. Japanese, Korean, Chinese, and indie developers continue to plop their massive hairy balls right on the tables of the biggest publishers in the West, and it seems like the very tiny fringes of these companies are starting to take notice. A few more high-profile flops, like maybe Fable 3, may finally put the nail in the coffin for this philosophy of gaming character design for good. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. If you want to see how all AAA games are the same, click the video on screen, and I hope to see you in the next one.